evening, everybody, and welcome to Backfire Simsport TV. I'm Clyde Whiting, and tonight we are back in the fantastic BSTV GT4 TCR Challenge. We are in Season 6, and this is the halfway point, Round 6. And it comes tonight from one of my favourite tracks, which is Sebring. In the booth with me tonight, I have, as usual, Yaz Not Yaz. Good evening.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Sebring.
And also doing the cameras and everything that you see on your screens is everybody's favourite Frenchman, Sam Boozin.
Good evening, everybody. There's a poll on YouTube.
Oh, we have a new poll. And I can't see it. That's good.
Give it a minute.
Oh, there we go. Pete's Crashy of the Bingham today. Now, I happen to know, now I'm not saying Pete won't crash because he's always liable for a crash, but Pete is generally fairly safe around Sebring. Not quick, but safe. So hopefully that's put the mockers on him and we're going to see him crash and burn plenty of times. Yaz, Sebring. I'd say one of my favourite tracks to watch racing and to race on. What do you think of it?
Yeah, I think it's one. There's many people who have this as one of their favourites. It is really one of those that is entertaining to drive and entertaining to watch. I think we're gonna have a good one here. I don't think. If there's anybody who doesn't like this track, I don't. They're not human. They're not from here. It's just one of those very bumpy. Very bumpy, through that last sunset corner there, we really need to hold on to it because you want to go as fast as possible, but somehow that wall just creeps up on you on the outside if you don't do it right. And likewise in that first corner, you want to go as fast as possible, but you really do need to get it right. But Sebring is definitely a fun place to be, and I'm looking forward to tonight's race.
Yeah, and obviously being an ex-airfield, there is plenty of concrete as well as tarmac. So lots of surface changes, lots of grip changes for these drivers to contend with. Last time out, your top three from Miami in GT4 were Simon Trendle, Tyler Newitt, and then Wobbly Kneecaps. And in TCR, surprise, surprise, it was Stephen Walker, followed by Gary Craig, and then Ryan Walker. So coming up to the halfway stage, GT4 very, very close at the top. Simon Trendle on 787. Tyler Newitt currently on his honeymoon on 781, and then Stefan Goebel on 651. In TCR, as you can imagine, Stephen Lucky Boring Walker is running away with it on 1,029 points. Gary Craig sits second with 761. And Ryan Walker in third with 759. In the team standings, Team Chimera currently lead the way with 1,345. Spectre 6 White sits second with 1,227. And BSTV Esports Green are third with 1,106. So, Yaz, the usual question. Where are the winners coming from tonight?
Well, the GT4s have shown that it's all up in the air. Simon Trendle has put in a good show thus far this season. But saying that he's just marginally ahead of Tyler, who isn't here tonight. The only reason Wobbly isn't up top there is because he's had a few wobbles here and there in a few of the races. But his pace is definitely up there and could come away with a win. So where's my money? I'm gonna go 50-50 on Wobbly and Simon Trendle tonight in the GT4s. I think I know where I'm gonna put all my money on in the TCRs because I think it's gonna be one of those lucky nights. Once again, all your luck you can put into that one basket there. But I think the podium places are definitely up for grabs. I know that Gary Craig would love to be there, Ryan Walker would love to be there, and we might see someone pull a surprise like a Carl Hardy or a maybe even Pete Bingham pulling a surprise and putting it onto the podium. So yeah, I think we're in for a good one, a good exciting one so far. Outside of Stephen Walker being the favorite for TCR, the rest of the places are all up for grabs.
Yeah, totally agree. I think it's going to be a fascinating battle up there in GT4. There is literally nothing between them. There's 1 second between all six, and I'm sure Stefan can actually go quicker than that anyway. So yeah, that's going to be a great battle. This is a track where, even the leader, excuse me, can make a mistake. There's a number of places that you can get spat out. So maybe it's going to go one way or the other, isn't it? As Yaz says, Stephen might run away with it and disappear into the distance, or he might have a wobble and give a win to somebody else, and that somebody else could be Gary Craig, could be Ryan Walker, could be Shane Powell, could be Russell Cowell, if he gets his finger out and moves up the grid a bit in qualifying, and also good to see Martin Brennan back. So 11 and a half minutes into this qualifying session. Currently we have Wobbly Kneecap sat on provisional pole with Simon Trendle second, Spencer Mccarthy third in GT4. Gary Craig has just got himself to the top of the pile in TCR, relegating Stephen Walker down to provisional second and his better looking brother Ryan Walker in third. Now, I didn't see Gary's lap. Was he being towed? I think he probably was. He's very close to Shane Powell, but maybe that's how you get the pole position round here, Yaz.
Yeah, you want to try and get that tow on the long back straight. But that also does, the long back straight, you're really setting up in the couple of corners before that. You really need to get that right. So yeah, if you can grab the toe on the car in front of you, you're definitely gonna score a bit of time up that back straight there. So so I think that you want to be using that as best as you can. I think Gary must have used that very well there. We didn't see that lap, but it is definitely a good lap, and whether he used the toe or not doesn't matter. He's put it up there, and he's taking the challenge to Steven.
Yeah, I've seen many teammates qualify in tandem round here. I remember doing it many moons ago, and literally your teammate would tow you all the way down that back straight and then bail out round Sunset to give you the clear track to take whatever line you wanted and get across the line, and it did work. So looks like I don't think Gary was helped by his teammate, but I think he managed to get himself behind another car. Some quick hellos on the chat before the action starts. So evening to James, our number one fan, evening to Sir Alan Toon, and also to Anthony Jacobson. I'm sure we're in for an absolute belter tonight. Just over a minute to go. Interestingly, Spencer Mccarthy has now took the provisional top spot in GT4. He did relegate Wobbly Kneecaps down to third, but Simon Trendle down to second. But Simon Trendle has now popped himself into second, relegating Wobbly down to third. In TCR, Stephen Walker still sat in second behind Gary Craig, but on track at the moment, whereas Gary isn't.
Yeah, just looked at that lap of Gary Craig, and yes, he was in the tow of Shane Powell, actually. Sorry, was it Shane Powell or Russell? I think it was Shane Powell that he.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah.
And looking at the lap from Spencer McCarthy, he did that all on his own. He didn't have anybody in front of him to help him along. So he's definitely showing some pace again, like we've seen a few times through the season. Whether he can keep it together, in this race. I said it last week and we said it before. He's very racy. He wants to be up there. and it's just about being fast for him. And he's shown that he can be fast. It's just can he keep it? Can he keep it safe? Can he keep it alive for the 60 minutes? That he hasn't been able to do quite so well so far this season. But if he can, he should be also vying for a top podium spot.
Yeah, and we said Stephen Walker was still out on track, and he has pipped Gary Craig for the pole by the looks of it by 0.2. Immediately, evening to Matt Elmore on the chat said, lucky lap for pole there. Spencer McCarthy, we're watching at the moment, trying to improve on his lap. He has got some green sectors, but he's got some yellow sectors as well. Wobbly, purple.
Yeah, Stephen Walker's also put that lap in with no assistance from any other car, so he's definitely got some pace tonight. Looking at
Spencer McCarthy just went quicker. He's into the 208s. Can Wobbly do anything? He's still on track. He's towards the end of his lap.
Coming across the line now. What does he do? 2090. He's only managed to get to second place. Very close. Less than a tenth. So yeah, we've had a great. That was a really good qualifying session. The cars are really close together.
Well, if qualifying is anything to go by, this race is going to be a corker. So we just wait for the session to click over. Very ugly picture on your inset there at the moment.
We apologize for that. I hope the kids are asleep.
Yeah, please shield your children from your TV or your laptop. I sort of sometimes hope that Wobbly forgets that his webcam is on and he picks his nose or something. And I'm sure that's a health drink that he's having there and not beer related at all.
I doubt that. Where are we with the session?
We're getting there very, very slowly. Obviously, a long lap. Oh, that's even worse because he's now bigger. We need one of those magic pens, don't we, so we can draw glasses and moustaches and things like that on him.
That would be so much better.
We could pretty him up for the viewers. Okay, so I shall take you through your Gt4 starting grid. So on pole position is Spencer McCarthy. Taking second there right at the end is Wobbly Kneecaps. Simon Trendle is in third. Good qualifying there from Chris Needham up in fourth. Jamie Wilson in fifth and Stefan Goebel in sixth.
Yeah, in the TCRs we have Stephen Walker in taking pole. Gary Craig is lining up next to him in second place. Ryan Walker third. That's a top three we've seen very often this season. Shane Powell for Spectre 6 White in fourth place. Then we've got Carl Hardy in fifth for result. Then Pete Bingham in sixth. Martin Brennan in seventh. Russell Cowell eighth. JB Dejoux in ninth. And then Jason Haddington bringing up the rear of the TCRs in 10th.
Okay, so we will just wait for the cars to grid, and being an old track, it will be a full pace lap. So please talk amongst yourselves while this is going on.
Yeah, we see Wobbly's back in the Porsche again this evening.
He can't make his mind up, can he? I wonder if he actually tests the cars on the track before he decides what to drive. Obviously, the drivers don't get penalised for changing cars in this series. Okay, lights are about to come on, so we will start the pace lap. Just a quick reminder to all of our viewers, we have the new BSTV truck series starting on Sunday. Yes, you heard it right. BSTV are going NASCAR racing. It's going to be absolutely hilarious because most of us have no idea what we're doing. And the grid is seems to be growing every day. We've now got 20 plus trucks on the grid, so it's going to be good. And then coming up towards the end of November, we have the new BSTV 992 challenge using the new Porsche 911 992 Cup car. That's going to be an absolutely fantastic series. All the details are on our website, and I'm sure Sam will put some links up to them at some point. So come and join in the fun.
Yeah, that truck series sounds like everybody's useless. Maybe I should sign up there.
You'd probably win, Yaz, to be honest.
Oh,
Okay, so TCR's already given a healthy gap to the GT4s. Although this isn't really the pinch point here is the hairpin where the TCRs are now, and the cars have usually got themselves sorted out by then. You do see the odd car go off on the first left, which seems to go on for ever and ever and ever. And on cold tyres, it can be a bit of a nightmare. And you also see drivers, Yaz, on that first turn. There's so many different lines. You know, you see the drivers take it as a big wide sweep. I'm one that likes the inside line and hugging the wall. But it does lend itself to some good overtaking there.
Yeah, it's a very inviting corner. You can call it that. You know, you see the car. You see the car in front of you taking maybe the outside line, and such a big there's such a big gap then on the inside that you're very tempted to get to go down the inside. It's just one of those inviting corners, but it is one of those you really need to hold onto the car, and you need to just balance it properly on the brakes and the throttle to get the best speed out of there. And then, like you say, that first left-hander after that, people sort of still jostling for position, especially in the beginning. You're going to see some people going side by side there going into that first corner, I'm sure. So yeah, but the real pinch point is at the hairpin. But like you say, usually they all sorted themselves out in a line by then, and then it's just about everybody just knowing that they need to brake where they need to brake and not brake too late and all those kinds, because those things also happen and people get shunted at the hairpin. But let's hope that doesn't happen here tonight. And as we see the cars coming around for the start finish straight, the pace car should tuck itself in now. And we'll see when they pull off.
And we're away.
Oh, yeah, there we go. And I think Spencer was trying to play some games there with Wobbly, trying to slow down, but it's caught himself out.
Yeah.
And there we see those cars going side by side, and Spencer's gotten through again.
Yeah, here come the angry wasps.
Oh, something's happened to Spencer. Something's happened to Spencer at the front. I think he's lost it on that first left-hander we were talking about.
I think you could be right.
And the wasps are through cleanly, it seems. Yeah. Spencer Mccarthy seems to be the only one who's lost out there on the start.
Yeah, let's wait for this to settle down. Here we go.
So Wobbly's gone a little bit too far in that first corner, but he's held it well together. And here we just see.
Yeah, you see him lock up, and then he had to bail out of it rather than spin, didn't he? Well, Stefan Goebel gave him plenty of room there to get back on the racing line.
There's plenty of, I mean, as you can see, there's loads of places to get on the inside of the car ahead of you. Trying to, loads of overtaking opportunities, and it's also one of those tracks that lends itself to slipstreaming, getting some overspeed into the next corner. Lots of lengthy straights and then braking zones. So I'm hoping we're going to see some exciting racing tonight. We guys are going to try and push past each other and make the overtakes and where they can.
Yeah, Russell Cowell is currently putting pressure on Pete Bingham. I think Russell, for me, was probably 2 or 3 places down on where he should have qualified. I'm sure he'll endeavour to make them up, but I would have expected him to be racing around the Carl Hardy Shane Powell mark. Gary Craig as well, putting a lot of pressure on Stephen Walker, which is good to see. So, not a lot of gap front to back in the GT4s at the moment. As we have a look at the SB Interactive curb cam. Ooh, side by side there. That was Shane and Carl, I believe. Carl's got the line for this corner. Shane needs to stick with him, which he has. Maybe a little bit of a nudge there, but nothing major. This battle is letting the front 3 stretch away. So all 6 cars in GT4, you could throw a blanket over them, which also means one mistake from wobbly kneecaps and he could wipe out the whole field.
Yeah, we've got some good battles going on at the moment, and now we saw Spencer Mccarthy and pole, so we know he's got pace, and now he's sitting in 4th place, so he needs to work his way back. I'm sure he's going to make a nuisance of himself, firstly for Jamie Wilson, and then the rest of the other 2 leading drivers there. But this TCR battle now.
They like it. That's Carl again going side by side with Shane Powell. This time he's managed to get the move done. Interestingly, in our poll, people seem to think that Pete has learnt to drive the car, and they don't think he's going to be Pete Crashy of the Bingham today.
Yeah, you can see them battling now in these TCRs, giving enough room, and sort of playing the games that they need to play. Pete Bingham also in this year, but it looks like Russell Cowell is trying to make the move. There's definitely a chance on the inside here where he's going, a bit later on the break and making the move on the inside. Whoop, Pete. careful.
No, I wasn't actually sure that was Russell's issue there. I thought Pete turned in before Russell was clear, but that was just my view very, very quickly.
Yeah, we saw a wobbly there, just trying to break some of the toes that the guys are getting behind him, pulling to the inside of that straight.
Yeah, Spencer McCarthy putting a move on Jamie Wilson. Sorry, Yaz.
Yep, we've seen that. Yes, Jamie seemed a little bit off this season. He's just been a little bit down on pace of the front guys. He's struggled a little bit. He sort of kept himself in there, but definitely there's it's not the Jamie Wilson we're used to seeing. Over the few seasons that he's been with us. So I hope that he picks it up as the season goes along.
Yeah, I think maybe it might just be that Simon has taken to the McLaren better than Jamie. I know Jamie does race in quite a few series, so whether his concentration and practice time is elsewhere at the moment in a championship that he's doing better in, I don't know. But he still turns up week in, week out, so and we always know that he's got a win. I'd love to see him back in the TCR, to be honest. I think that's where he's best.
Yeah, you've got to buy a ticket to be in it. So and that's what he does. He shows up every week. He's trying to get there. But I'm sure we'll see the better Jamie Wilson that we know before the end of the season.
Yeah, he's having to go back, but that's difficult there because you lose a lot of speed taking that corner tight.
Yeah, and Spencer's gotten through Simon Trendle also very quickly.
He has, hasn't he? Yeah, we missed that, or we was chatting away. Sam showed it and we didn't realise. I don't know if we can see that again, Sam, or play it again, Sam. Just a better run out of the corner by the looks of it.
Looks like Simon was he may have just gone a little bit too far and needed to come on to check himself again on the brakes a little bit late into that corner there, which slowed his momentum into the next strip there. Chris Needham is showing some good pace here, hanging onto the back of this top four. I mean, we know that this top four has got blistering pace, and just the fact that Chris Needham is holding up with the back of him he's definitely showing some good improvements this season. These RWC guys have come in last season. They were a bit off the pace, and they wouldn't argue with me, but or be upset with me for saying so. But I'm sure they'd be very impressed with themselves, upping their pace and upping their game and looking at this now. Now we're 10 minutes in here, but Chris Needham's still on the back of this pack.
Yeah, I fully agree. We had the three RWC drivers, so Chris, Jason Haddington, and Arnaud Chenonnier, who's not here tonight. Good bunch of lads. Take it on the chin when it goes wrong, and like you say, they are steadily improving race on race, season on season, and it's certainly showing here at the moment for Chris.
Yeah, he's hanging on there, and he's ahead of Stefan Goebel, who we know has lots of pace. As you know, he's one of those guys who puts in the work. He's been up there and raced up there, and he has a few. He likes the German tracks, being the German that he is. He's really showed good pace on the German tracks. We always say he's due a win at some point. Because he puts in the work that is required. These guys at the front are really a cut above the rest. But he's shown enough to give them a challenge at least. most weeks.
Yeah, and it's good to see. You know, the GT4 field. There's 6 cars, and it looked like they was gonna sort of spread out a little bit, but no, they're all back under the same blanket again. Where Bingham going? It's just been done by Martin Brennan with a good pass. Evening to Andrew McKinley on the chat. No Scott Malcolm tonight. I think he's still drinking after his second place in ITCR on Sunday.
Yeah, this GT4 pack now, whether Wobbly is playing around with playing games with these guys or what, but it's like all 6 cars are now really bunched up into the same part of the tarmac. I mean, there's 1.5 seconds between the 6 of them in the GT4s, so they definitely keeping things together there.
Yeah, we just see Shane Powell get that position back from Carl Hardy. Just looking at the track map, I don't know if Sam can get it up briefly, but the GT4 section does look quite funny. There they are, all together.
Yeah, I think it's also one of those tracks that once again lends itself to some draft and some fuel saving. And when you're the car in front, you're the one that's disadvantaged the most in that strategy. And it could be just a case of Wobbly trying his best to sort of minimize that. Yeah, I'm just watching a few, bit of Wobbly, and I can see that he's lifting up significantly before getting into the braking zone of the airpin. So, yeah, it's just these games that they're playing at the moment now to play with each other's strategies and sort of see who's going to do what and trying to do as much as you can to put yourself in front. The pit stops are going to come around soon enough, and that's usually where things play out, and we're going to see some moves made. We've seen Simon Trindle doing the fuel save. We don't have Tyler. Whoopsie.
Gary Craig doing a bit of drifting.
I see Gary Craig has probably been doing some practice with Pete Bingham. He's doing a really good impression there, but well held.
Yeah, and Stefan Goebel has got past Chris Needham in GT4. They have a very unreliable GT4 informant who tells me that the GT4s will probably be pitting between lap 14 and lap 17.
Yeah, well, if looking at this now, we're in lap 7, and that's 15 minutes in. So, at lap 14, we should be at about the halfway mark. So that would make sense. But, when it comes down to the strategy now and fuel saving and all this kind of thing, if you're going to be saving, the more fuel you're going to be saving, the less you're going to take on for that second stint, and the shorter your pit stop is going to be. And that's also going to come into play if these guys are following each other this closely.
Yeah, that's very, very important, isn't it? Yaz, I'm just going to have to leave you for 2 minutes. I've got a bladder emergency.
Sure. Yeah, so we seeing these wasps go around here side by side through Sunset, the last corner, and then look at that, two result cars with two of the Spectre 6 cars battling it out there. Pete Bingham bringing up the rear of that 5-car pack. It's not even I can't call it a 5-car train. It's a 5-car pack because they definitely not running in a train formation. This is a battle that's going to go on for some time, and you know what? This is the fun part. These guys are enjoying this, and you know they're not at the front trying to win, but here we're looking at 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th place, all battling for the same piece of tarmac. And as we say that, we're looking at the GT4s do the same thing. First, all the way down to 6, trying to jostle for position here. Wobbly really is playing games with these guys now. You know, he's lifting off the throttle earlier than he needs to. Not going as fast as he can, because like I mentioned, it's all about that fuel saving strategies and can we outsmart each other on the in the pit stops. And now he's letting Spencer Mccarthy through. I'm sure we'll see some pace pickup now. Spencer's going to probably we'll probably see him try to pull away, but I mean, with the fact that Wobbly's been holding back in the laps prior, I don't see a problem with him keeping on the rear of Spencer Mccarthy. Yeah.
I'm back.
Oh, welcome. That was a quick one.
Yeah, top tip for any youngsters watching: don't get old.
Yeah, you've missed Wobbly letting Spencer McCarthy by on the back straight. So Spencer now leads the GT4s.
Yeah, wondering if Wobbly was just a little bit concerned about his fuel usage. As you said, he was trying to save, but it's certainly a lot easier to save fuel, isn't it, following somebody than doing it from the lead.
Yeah, he didn't put up much of a fight to when Spencer put his car up the inside, coming down the straight. It wasn't even a move in the corner. It was really just, you could see him lifting off down the straight just to let Spencer through. And I think it is just that it's a lot easier to save fuel when you're the car following.
This is a good stack up here behind Carl Hardy. Shane Powell, Russell Cowell, Martin Brennan and Pete Bingham, all in this mix fighting over 4th place.
Yeah, we've got 2 result cars and 2 Spectre 6 cars on the same piece of track there, and then Pete Bingham bringing up the rear. Actually, yeah.
Yeah, Pete's being that teammate that everybody wants to have because you know you can beat him every race.
Tell you what, though.
Coming up on a third of the way through now, Yaz. Go on,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, though. Gary Craig has shown enough that he would probably beat most teammates. He's really shown good pace, and now holding on to the back of Stephen Walker.
Yeah, Ryan Walker's closed that gap as well, hasn't he?
Yeah, so even though Pete Bingham we know is that teammate that everybody wants, Gary Craig definitely has the pace to hold his own with most teammates. He really has shown good pace last season and this season. It's just, yeah, like we say, lucky. Stephen Walker's just been a lot more luckier than anybody else in this league. But Gary Craig has definitely put in some good shows throughout the season.
Yeah, you can beat Gary by constantly talking to him while he's racing. Evening to Mr. Marco Lewert on the chat. So these three have got a massive gap now over that 4th place battle. Got 3 battles in the TCR. We've got the battle for first, which is these 3. We've got the battle for fourth, which has got 5 cars in it. And then JB Dejoux and Jason Haddington look like they're also having a good battle. And obviously in GT4, they're all battling.
Yeah, the GT4 battle is an interesting one. And I'm looking forward to see what happens in that pit stop, because that's really going to separate them. If anything is going to do, it's going to be in those pit stops.
Yeah, she would like to think that when they pit, they all come out together again, and then it's just going to be who can slipstream who can put moves on who. But, you know, we've seen over the seasons that we've done this, and we're now in season 6. You know, these guys come up with some weird and wonderful pit tactics. And every time we try and predict what they're going to do, they do something totally different and make us look dafter than usual.
Yeah, it's I mean, these TCRs we're looking at here is just coming onto the back straight, and the lead pack have already taken sunset when they come onto the back there. So there's quite a big gap now. You know, there's basically four races going on track at this point in time. The GT4s are all stuck together. We've got the leading 3 TCRs stuck together, and then we've got this pack of 5. And then JB Dejoux and Jason Haddington having a squabble at the back there. So yeah, everybody's nobody's alone. Everybody's got their own little battle that they're going to be enjoying for this race, and yeah, we really hope that when they come in for those pit stops, that it still keeps everybody together. But I think that's what's going to separate these cars from each other.
Yeah, we got teammates getting it on here. And obviously, the most important thing of a Wednesday night is cake. Now, we did have some cake. My wife made a very nice cake on Sunday, and unfortunately, I've ate it all. So I have no cake tonight, so I'm having to make do with toffee.
This is looking like a good sweet battle going on here.
Yeah, I think these 2 teammates are slowing each other up, aren't they, with the battle, which has brought Martin and Pete right onto the back of them and allowed Carl to probably get the biggest gap he's had over them so far.
Yeah, and importantly for Carl now, if he can make that gap just a little bit bigger, he'll drop them because they'll be out of the tow. If he can keep going without making any mistakes, that's they're going to be slowing down behind him. They would have had the advantage of chasing him and getting that slipstream, especially down this little section here. We're going to get to the back straight now, and this is where it's important to be close to the car ahead of you.
Yeah, and just looking at the GT4s, they seem to have spread out a little bit. So, Simon Spencer seems to have dropped Wobbly a tad.
Yeah, there's a bit more than a second gap between them now. And then Simon...
I think Wobbly has also dropped Simon a tad as well, hasn't he? So,
yeah. It's just spread out a little bit, not drastically, but it has spread out a little bit more than what we've seen a little bit earlier. But I think that's we're heading to that mark now where everything's going to unravel and everything's going to shuffle about when they start coming into the pits.
Yeah, so we're under 5 minutes to halfway. We're on lap 12. It was predicted earlier that the GT4s, if the earliest pit stop would be around lap 14, and possibly somebody could stretch it as far as 17, but we'll have to wait and see on that.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we see those GT4s go a little bit longer than the halfway mark here. You know, they were definitely going significantly slower in that first section, or in that first little stint, and they were definitely saving some fuel there. So yeah, I have a feeling they're going to go a bit longer than the halfway mark here.
And something that can happen around this track, Yaz, is but because there are a lot of sections where you can tow off the car in front. If you happen to pit and you pit on your own and you come out into clean air, you can actually lose lap time because you're not able to tow from anybody.
Yeah, that can happen. We were talking about these lap times, and Wobbly's just put in the fastest lap of the race. He's the first one to dip into the 208s. That's about three tenths faster than anybody else. So yeah, the pace is picking up now.
Perhaps he had a go at saving a little bit extra, and they didn't like the gap to Spencer. I'm not sure. We wait to see who will be the first to blink.
I think we're probably going to see that in the next couple of laps now. Not quite yet. Maybe I'd say probably 2 or 3 laps time. We'll see the first of those blinkers. Chris Needham has definitely dropped off the back now. I don't know if he's dropped quite significantly off there. I don't know if he's made a mistake somewhere or something and he might have just put a tire on the grass somewhere that's dropped him off the back that far. But they are spreading out a little bit now. Those GT4s.
Well, it is very difficult to race bumper to bumper for a full hour. But you know, we've seen time and time again, it does happen in this league. There is such a good quality of driver in the league.
Yeah, it does take a lot of focus and concentration to do that for a long time. Looking ahead of you and looking behind you. We saw that last week where Wobbly, we had that inset picture of Wobbly and it looked like he was looking in his mirrors more than what he's looking forward. So yeah, that does take quite a lot of focus and a lot of concentration to do for the full hour.
Yeah, GT4s are on lap 14 as we speak. Will anybody try something different on this lap? Ryan Walker looked like he was getting a little bit sideways there. Obviously pushing hard to keep in this battle. Meanwhile, I am watching the GT4s in case anybody blinks.
Yeah, I think the advantage here is definitely going to be if you can be the last of the stoppers here, and take on the least amount of fuel, to be stopped for the shorter time. I think that's gonna be the advantage here. You spoke about that tow, in the pit stops and this to come in on your own here, you're just going to lose any. Oh, and there we've got someone,
Yeah.
Simon
Trendle and Jamie Wilson. Teammates are in.
Doing something different.
Sort of bang on the halfway point.
It's doing something different, but the two of them will be together. So Jamie's going to have the toe off. He's going to keep the toe off Simon when they come out. But yeah, it would be it all plays out, and we all see what it all comes to. once everybody is stopped. These TCRs have now split up significantly. Cole Hardy's is run away at the front a little bit. Shane Powell is trying to give him chase, and then the pack of three have sort of dropped off the back of that now. And yeah, Simon Trindle and Jamie Wilson have come out, and there's quite a big gap between the two of them. Looks like.
Yeah, there is, isn't there?
But yeah, it's at about 2-3 seconds between them. Quite a bit of air between them. So yeah, I don't know if Stephen was maybe. I mean, if Jamie was stationary for a little bit longer. Let me have a look. Not significantly. Just a little bit more than a second there. Well, it's a second is a lot of time in this, and it was in the pit lane, so it was just a case of Simon attacking that pit lane a bit better than Jamie and gaining himself a second there. But yeah, now we need to see if anybody else comes in. Yeah, the front two come in together again.
I don't know whether that meant they had to come in or whether that pit stop from the Chimera boys have frightened them into a pit stop, but that
All the
is
others
the
have come
rest
in now.
of them in.
Yeah, so Wobbly's up for tires, and Spencer isn't. So Spencer will definitely come out a lot sooner than Wobbly, but Wobbly's going to have a lot more grip come the end of this race.
Yeah, Simon Trendle coming round Sunset now.
Oh, these two are coming out on top of each other here. We saw this happen at one of the previous days, but okay, they're giving each other some space there. We saw it happen at VIR, I think it was, where they came out on top of each other, and there was just a big bang in the pit exit. But yeah, looks like Spencer's come out ahead. Wobbly's right behind him, and it looks like Wobbly's taken some tires and still come out right behind him. That's quite interesting.
The TCR leaders stay out. Doesn't look like any of them are going to blink yet.
Yeah, we've seen the TCR's fuel tank going a lot longer than the GT4s. Yeah, they've. I mean, we've seen some of them go all the way to 50 minutes on a tank in some races. So I think there's still a way to go with them before we see them needing to come in. If anybody comes in early now, it's really down to wanting to do something different. But there's really no need for them to come in for at least another 3 or 4 laps.
Yeah, we see Martin Brennan trying a pass on Russell Cowell there, didn't quite pull it off.
Yeah,
Martin's looking racy.
Yeah, he's all over the back of Russell Cowell now. Pete Bingham hasn't left him alone. He hasn't really attacked him, but he hasn't left him alone at all. And here we see this is where he's going to come into this battle. When the front two start fighting with each other, that's going to put him right in the mix, like you see here now.
So just in the distance there, I saw that Shane Powell had almost caught Carl Hardy.
Yeah, Shane Powell's half a second behind Carl Hardy now. He's all over him. I think on the back straight now. So yeah, I wonder if one of these will be thinking. One of them would be thinking about doing a different strategy and pitting early, just to get out of this battle, because these battles slow you down. You know, just being trying to follow and trying to pass, and the car ahead of you, it slows you down. So I mean, if
Well,
we
Shane
always talk
Powell
about
has gone in.
we're always talking about doing something different. So yeah, so there we see Shane Powell going in, maybe thinking he could possibly get something done over Carl Hardy when he comes in.
Jason Haddington also in. Pete Bingham trying to move on Martin Brennan, but sensibly pulls out of that one.
It's very interesting to see the pit stop times and where Wobbly came out behind Spencer. But when they stopped, it looked like Wobbly's car went up in the air for some tires, and Spencer didn't. But the pit stops were very much equal and adjacent in time. So I wonder what
I
happened there.
think Sam may be able to correct me if I'm wrong, but I think if the fuel that they take in this series, you can get away with 2 tyres without extra time.
Yeah, I think that's what happened to Wobbly. And if I remember correctly, we saw him off the track before the fuel was done.
So yeah, that's we're looking at another 20 minutes here, and with a couple of fresher tires on that car, I think the gap to Spencer is definitely going to come down towards the end of this race when we've seen the tire drop off just ever so slightly towards the end of an hour in these GT4s. So yeah, we need to keep our eye on that as this race comes to towards the end of the hour.
Yeah, at the moment the gap is growing slightly. Very slightly as well.
And that's also, for that gap to be growing, Spencer's going to need to be pushing. And if he is pushing, he's definitely going to be working those tires a bit more. So, yeah, it really is one of those balancing acts that you really need to be careful of if you haven't taken tires, as I'm feeling Spencer didn't. Yeah, it's just going to naturally drop off, and Wobbly's going to catch up to him.
Yeah, Russell Cowell has pitted in TCR. Or is pitting, should I say. Pete and Martin are going at it.
Yeah, these lead TCRs are now coming to the back straight. I mean, to the start finish straight. I wonder if they're going to just
Yeah,
one of them.
Stephen does.
Stephen Walker pulls in, and Gary Craig and Ryan Walker keep going. So yeah, this is I think we're looking at around about that time now. and this is going to be telling to see where they all come out. Carl Hardy's also in.
Oh,
Can they hold it?
I think that one was on Pete. I'd have to see it again because I literally looked up from the timing board and Martin was sideways.
They're both coming to the pits as well.
Interesting. Stephen Walker just saying he made a mess of his pit stop. We'll find out the true extent unless Sam has got something here. Did he go too far? He certainly did. So that will give hope to Gary Craig. We'll have to wait for Gary and Ryan to pit before we see how that all shakes down. Do they come in now to cover off that pit stop from Stephen Walker? They are the only two cars on track that haven't pitted yet. I believe Gary's coming in. Yeah, man, they're both in. So let's see how badly Stephen got that wrong, and also can these two get in and out without making a mistake? Oh, Ryan Walker couldn't. Ryan Walker overshot his pit box.
Stephen Walker coming around there, as you can see him coming there. Gary Craig is
Gary's
out.
moving. Ryan's moving.
Gary, this is going to be really close because
Gary's going to get out.
Yeah, that's Gary going over there. So he's got had a really good stop there. Didn't make any mistakes, and that's quite a significant gap that he's managed to pull on Stephen there. Now it's going to be a dash for the line for the three of them. Really good pit stop from Gary. He's the only one who didn't make a mistake there. Both the other two, the Walker brothers, have both overshot their pit box. And that
Gary, I think Gary now wants some help from his stablemate, doesn't he? He needs Ryan to go and attack Stephen, which will slow them both down and let Gary disappear.
Yeah, just looking at the pit stop, pit lane times there, and those mistakes. Gary Craig was 3 seconds, just under 3 seconds quicker through the pit lane than the other two cars, and that's massive when they were in such a tight battle.
So coming up on the 15 minutes to go mark.
Yeah, this is a battle for 4 and 5 between in the GT4 field. Jamie Wilson and Stefan Goebel. These two. We know these two have the pace. They've just dropped off a little bit from the front three.
Yeah, Spencer and Wobbly are on it again. Oh, it was nearly a push to pass there from Stefan. Or, as I heard it called, a braille overtake. So GT4 leaders are now lapping the TCRs. I would really like to see the Spencer Wobbly battle. There we go. Thought Sam had gone for a poo.
They've dropped Simon Trindle quite significantly from them. I think there's about a 7-second gap back to Simon Trindle now, which is quite a big gap that they've managed to pull off there. So I think the two of them are going to go. They're gonna push hard for this last 12.5 minutes that we've got here. And this could be the fun battle to watch. They're coming up to some traffic now, and this traffic is they're having their own battle at this point. So let's see them get through this. It really is part of this. Getting through traffic is part of this racing and part of what makes this challenging, and they need to do it nice and smoothly.
Yeah, and obviously the only time Pete looks behind him is when he's spinning backwards. And they're going to catch him just at the right time. Bit of comedy there from Mr. Bingham on the driver chat.
He could have helped Wobbly.
Yeah.
He's the master of sideways anyway, so...
Does Wobbly want to get this done now, Yaz, or is it too early?
Yeah, it's one of those times where you sort of you want to get past, because it's not like those tracks like Daytona where you got that big massive run, or what's the other one where you want to be following, like what's that long stupid track, Nürburgring. I know Marco Lewert and the other guys are probably going to be wanting to ban me for saying that.
Oh, you're a dead man walking, mate, believe me.
Yeah. But it's not one of those tracks where you want oops. Wobbly's missed his breaking point there. He's completely missed his. Wobbly missed his breaking point there into the hairpin, and immediately came on the radio to let Spencer know. And then he let it pass because Spencer was just trying to avoid him there, his mistake.
Yeah, we see Pete there getting past Martin, but that battle's going to continue to the end, I'm sure. They're very evenly paced now.
Yeah, I think that may have put Wobbly out of touch now for the win.
Just seeing it again now.
No, it was at the hairpin. This is it.
This is it, isn't it?
Yeah. Just missed it completely. And Spence had to take himself completely out of the race there to avoid hitting Wobbly, or Wobbly hitting him. Okay.
Yeah, so interesting now. 3-second gap, 9 minutes to go. What can Wobbly do? And what is going on here?
And Stephen Walker on
Why
Gary
is
Craig.
Stephen Walker back in the lead?
Looks
I
like he just
thought
got
Gary had a big enough gap, but obviously not.
Yeah, I think I think Stephen just got a bit lucky there and got a good run onto the back straight. But Gary Craig isn't just letting it go. He's still fighting for that, and that would be a good move right there if he can just hold it into the next left-hander.
Yeah, not
He'll
done.
not quite. Yeah, but it looks like they are giving Stephen as much as a battle as they can. Yeah.
Yeah, he's certainly getting a workout tonight, isn't he?
The fact that we're 52 minutes in and there is less than a second between them, it's definitely the best showing this season, and the biggest challenge that Stephen has had thus far.
And yes, Yaz, you're already getting abuse on the chat. Although I do agree with you, it is a stupid track.
Yeah. And it is Marco Lewert, who I figured would be throwing the abuse, but that's fine. I mean, he's only hit me 5 times in the last 5 races that we've had. So yeah, it is quite a stupid track. But yeah, look, this one's going on, and this one's going to go all the way to the line, and it's really good to see that they've managed to pull that up. This is one of those races or should I say, in the other races, for them to get close to Steven. Steven had to make a mistake. We didn't see any mistakes. I mean, apart from that little pit stop. We overshot the pit stop a little bit. That's almost going to the back of the net. But yeah, except for that little tiny mistake there, that's not, do we really call that a mistake? But for them to be this close onto the back of him is really good to see. It is the halfway mark of the season now, so this is what we want to see. The guys, Steven has put down he's put down the marker, and the guys are taking to the challenge.
Yeah, it looked like Gary was pushing him round the corner there.
Yeah, good move by Gary, just putting it in there, and now he's opened it up for Ryan as well. And Ryan has also got through, but I think Steven has probably got a better run out of that corner onto the straight there. So, but definitely an excellent move by Gary. And yeah, that's there's no time like now to get that done. If you can hold on for the last about 5.
Well, these three could change positions on every lap, couldn't they? They're that close.
Gary wouldn't want that now. He wouldn't want any positional changes right now. He'd want to keep that lead for the last 5 minutes. And what we're looking at, the leader in GT4 is now coming across the line at 55 minutes.
And he's got a massive gap over Wobbly. If Wobbly's made another mistake.
Yeah, so we're looking at 3 laps, 3 more laps to go here. So I hope that the guys have fueled up enough, because Spencer's really going quite fast now. Yeah, so here we're seeing it. I'm sure Gary is sweating buckets at the moment with Stephen Walker breathing down his neck as he is. We know the quality of Stephen Walker, and Gary Craig has definitely got his work cut out for him in this next 2.5 laps that he's got to go here. He's really going to be hoping that he doesn't put a foot wrong here, and he does that. Stephen does. Oof, that's close. He's really got to flex his muscles here and have his elbows out and just fight as hard as he can to keep Stephen behind him.
Yeah, and Sebring is one of those tracks where it is very difficult to make your car wide. We're just going to see the lead change hands again now.
Yeah, and you might see him come back here again. There we see him, going side by side again down the start-finish straight. So like you say, you can try and as you might to make your car as wide as possible, but the overtaking opportunities are all on the widest part of the circuit, and you just can't get that wide.
So just over 2 minutes to go. So there's going to be this lap and one more.
Yeah, the GT4 leader is about to come. Is that car in the back of that picture there? So, if the GT4 leader passes them now, there is going to be one lap less that they have to do battle, which at this point in time would suit Stephen Walker. But at the same time, how is that GT4 car going to get through there? Is it going to cost anybody any time? All these things. Is going to be in the back of the minds of these drivers. They're all going to not want to lose any time with that GT4 coming through.
I think Spencer may just catch them at the right place, as in the back straight, and maybe get all three of them done in one go. Maybe he's a little bit too far behind.
Yeah, they definitely don't want to get it on somewhere awkward.
No, but to be fair to Spencer, and I'm sure he's realised it, he has got the gap to be able to sit behind these three, and not worry about trying to get past them. Gary goes for the lead again.
Yeah, he's got that line. Oh, they got to keep it clean there, and you got to get a good run out of that sunset corner onto the start-finish straight. And now, Spencer's getting in on this here.
I think he's got enough room to get it done, hasn't he?
Yeah, and this is now going to be the white flag lap, the last lap of the race. So these three now need to make a play for their position. I think that looking at how these last couple of laps have gone, Gary's got to focus on getting that run out of Sunset to make the win. I don't think he really shouldn't be pushing to make the pass before the back straight, and just try and make it as late as possible. And focus on that exit on Sunset. Put as much pressure as he can onto Stephen Walker, and then pounce on that last corner.
Well, here's my prediction: Gary and Stephen side by side through Sunset. They touch, push each other wide. Ryan Walker wins.
Yeah.
Ryan at the moment is like, come on, guys! Like, there's just no way through. You're side by side.
Yeah, and there Ryan's pouncing on Gary. I think that instance there, it's the adrenaline's running. So I mean, I don't want to say that, but I think that he's put the pressure on a little bit too early. on Stephen there, and that's what's costing that position.
Oh,
Oopsie.
this is going to help Stephen.
Yeah, he's put himself under the pressure there, and unfortunately he's come off second best or
There
third
he gets
best in this
slow
place. Yeah.
down there,
He was a little bit tight.
or is he just moving out of the way of the GT4s?
Yeah, he lost that battle a little bit early on in that lap, and yeah, there we go. We see Spencer McCarthy coming off the line for his first win in BSTV GT4 TCR challenge, and yeah, that's Stephen Walker getting the battle of the season thus far. A good second place by Ryan Walker, and yeah, third place by Gary Craig.
So all the other places come across the line. Simon Trendle, obviously third in GT4. Teammate Jamie Wilson in fourth. Stefan Goebel fifth. Chris Needham came home in sixth. We will have your full classified results shortly. But a hell of a race there, Yaz.
Yeah.
A lot of tactical racing. For me, it doesn't matter on the car. Sebring always delivers.
Yeah, I think it's we call it's exactly like we called it. Before the race started, we said it's one of those tracks that lends itself to good racing. It's one of those tracks that the guys, most of the drivers enjoy, and I think it played out like that. We didn't see. Oh, I don't remember anybody spinning out or making those kind of mistakes or having any sort of big incidents. We saw Wobbly lock up that one time, and I think that was it. So yeah, the guys definitely showed that they can run a clean race around here, and we saw lots of back and forth, lots of overtaking. Which was good to watch, and it was clean as well.
Okay, so let's bring you your official results. So, GT4 race won by Spencer McCarthy for Geodesic. Wobbly Kneecaps came home second for BSTV Esports Pink. Simon Trendle took the third step on the podium for Team Chimera. Teammate Jamie Wilson in fourth. Stefan Goebel for VTS Esports in fifth. And Chris Needham for RWC Racing Black, rounding out your GT4 finishes.
Yeah, in TCR we saw Stephen Walker have the best battle that he's had this season, but still finishing first for Spectre 6 Purple. Ryan Walker, BSTV Esport Blue, taking it in the last lap, second place. Gary Craig in third, BSTV Esport Green. Carl Hardy with a good fourth place there for Safeguard by result. That was a good finish. Shane Powell came home in fifth for Spectre 6 White, with Russell Cowell, his teammate, in sixth. Pete Bingham, seventh for BSTV Esport Green. Very clean race there. We didn't see any spins. Very boring, Pete. Martin Brennan, good. We saw some good battles for Martin Brennan, finishing in eighth for Safeguard by result. Jason Harrington in ninth place for RWC Racing White, and JB De Joux for LMT Racing coming home in 10th place.
Okay, so we have got drivers lining up. So let's go with what is going on with my Sam, could you drag Spencer McCarthy in for me? I'm having a few Discord issues. Spencer McCarthy, welcome to the booth.
Hi, Clive.
That was a hell of a tactical race, wasn't it? Until 10 minutes from the end.
I didn't know what I was doing, to be honest, Clive. I never do on these races. Yeah, it seems like Wobbly seems to kind of, play silly buggers with fuel saving, and we all seem to sort of try not to run into the back of each other for the first sort of 10 laps. And then we see what the fuel looks like. And I don't know, I think I kind of thought, right, that's it. I've had enough of this. I think I've got enough now to gun it, and yeah, kind of did. So sort of strung it out a bit.
Yeah, we saw a few times where you actually got more than a second in front of him. And at that point, going through my head was, right, okay, Spencer's got the pace on him now. He's going to slowly pull away. And then I'd look up again and he would be 2/10 behind you. You never quite got away, did you, until he made that mistake?
Yeah, mistake in the braking area. Yeah, it was a bit like that. There was a couple of 10th here that I could get on him, and then there was like a couple of tenths back he could get on me at the hairpin. And it was really, I was then pushing it around the bits that the car was working well. And then a couple of times, I'd put a wheel in the grass, just pushing too much. But obviously, I try hard, so I was trying everything, and it just couldn't quite get. I think I got to 1.5 at one point, but I think the draft on this seems to go to sort of 1.6 ish. So it was. I never quite got him out of draft, but it was always looming. And then my daughter came in to sort of say goodnight and give me a kiss goodnight. So that was half a second gone, and all of a sudden he was on me. So,
yeah, that always helps, doesn't it? Yeah. And when Wobbly had his moment, was that a code brown for you, or was you under control?
I'm just looking at it now, actually. Yeah, I think we just chatted in game, and I think he just missed the 4 cones at the beginning, which is pretty much the breaking point, was for me anyway. And I think because we were going past the TCR, he just missed that one, saw the 3 instead of the 4, I think, and then just sort of shouted out in game, "Watch out, I was coming through," and I let him sort of dive through. He kind of stopped it on the apex, which was all right, and I sort of undercut him a bit to come out, and then just thought, shall I kind of make a race of it to the end, or do I just Scarpa?
No, Scarpa every time.
The Scarpa was the option.
And a comedy gold moment from Pete Bingham when you went past him down the straight. Spencer, I am not going to wreck you.
Absolutely. I think we are slowly coming to an understanding now, me and Pete. I think I'm starting to learn a bit more about the drivers in the series. It's about time I went and probably said hello to him.
It's always good with a bit of comedy and a bit of sarcasm in the race. Any shout outs you want to give before we let you go?
Just for Wobbly to keep dragging us all along as quick as we are. I think he sets a really good pace. And obviously Simon's battling really hard with that McLaren, and obviously this week, he's struggling with it, obviously. But fair play to him to stick at it, unlike Wobbly, who just picks a car at random. So well done to all the guys that are racing, really. And the TCR battle looked epic as well when I came past it.
It certainly was, well worth a watch. Well, congratulations on your win, and hopefully we'll see you next time out.
Yeah, cheers guys.
Thanks, Spencer. Okay, let's bring in for you, Yaz. Now, this is getting really monotonous now. Stephen Lucky Walker.
Nothing lucky about that. That was mental.
Stephen, we well done again for another win. We said it. We were saying it in the booth. This was one you had to work for. I think you'd probably agree with me on that one.
Yeah, that was absolutely mega insane race. I enjoyed every single lap of that, even when I was under a lot of pressure. It was absolutely fantastic racing.
We saw some unlucky moments in the pit there. You overshot a little bit.
I was coming in, right, and I was like,
he didn't. Let me just say, he didn't overshoot his pit box. They actually moved it
just as he pulled up.
It's like, oh, what's going on now? So I was coming up to it, right, and I was like, don't mess this up, like, they've been saving fuel, don't mess it up. And then literally I just went, I think that cost me 2 seconds, maybe a little bit more, because I started saving fuel as well, because I knew Gary wouldn't pass me before we pitted, just because he wanted to save as much fuel as possible. So luckily it came out when I came out, because I thought the gap would be bigger because of my mess up as well, and the fact that he'd save fuel. But then I managed to stay in his toe, and if you don't get rid of the toe, you can't pull away, really, as you saw.
Even Matt Elmore is taking the piss out of you on the chat every week now.
That's his job now. He can't race at the moment. That's literally, he's the cheerleader. I mean, I'll take it.
Yeah, well, that's another win. The one you had to work for the most so far this season. This is the halfway mark of the season. Are you hoping for the guys to keep the space, or are you hoping that you could pull away again for the next half of the season? I guess it's a double-edged sword, that one, eh?
I don't mind either way, if I'm honest. I love the fighting and the battling, but if we get to a track and I'm just a tad quicker over a lap, but I think quite a lot of the tracks, it's tough to break. I know what's next. What, Catalonia? I genuinely dislike that track. I hate it so much.
Boring Barcelona.
Yeah, it's just a shocking track. I don't understand why it even exists anymore, if I'm honest. But it should lend itself well to TCR racing anyway, like similar to what Sebring did. So I'm expecting the same there. The only tracks I'm looking forward to are the last four. I think Road Atlanta, Snetterton, Hungaroring and Bathurst. I'm really looking forward to Bathurst. That's the last one.
Yep, that's usually a good one to end on. But yeah, once again another win. I don't know if you're getting bored of this. I don't know if you're getting bored of it. I'm sure you're not. But well done again. Another win under your belt. Is there anybody you'd like to give a shout out to this week?
Yeah, obviously, just you guys for hosting everything and the sponsors and that, and then Gary and Ryan for giving me an absolutely brilliant race. I'm going to be awake all night thinking about it, and then obviously the rest of my team. I think Shane had a good race back, managed to stay out of trouble, and then my brother, my little cheerleader, he'll be messaging me later going, "Did you win? What happened?" So yeah, thanks guys, I appreciate it.
Yeah, well done again. See you next week.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Okay, so let's bring in now Mr. Wobbles himself. Wobbly Kneecaps, welcome to the booth.
Hey, what's up?
So, that was going to be a hell of a start to finish battle there until you cocked it up.
Yeah, I did. I completely misjudged that, and I at least had to reflex to scream to Spencer that I was coming. And it wasn't that much of an issue that I overshot it. I would have obviously given the position back and turned into the grass, and then forgot that Russell was there, and hit him, and then I had a little bit of damage. Which again, I'm sorry to Russell because he was just a bystander.
Yeah, I didn't actually know whether you touched, and then I see your apology on Discord and thought, oh right, it's probably that incident. But I was saying to Spencer that was a fantastically tactical race. Myself and Yaz was saying that doesn't matter what cars go round Sebring, it always delivers as a track.
Yeah, it's really fun to drive. I drove it in the GTCC like 4 weeks ago or whatever it was, and it's just a great track to drive. It has a great flow, and especially the technical part was really fun because I was laughing my ass off how hard I was saving because I didn't want to be the first one. Actually, I didn't want to drive first and tried to let Spencer overtake me the whole time, but he didn't, and he finally did, and I was happy with that.
Yeah, I don't know whether you watched the broadcast back, but not only was your battle raging, but there was a battle for the top 3 in TCRs that kept us enthralled throughout the evening. Next week, not one of my favourite tracks. I always call it boring Barcelona. But A, are you going to be about? And B, is it a track that you like?
Actually, I always hated it, and then I gained like 600 iRating, so I started loving it. It's basically how it works. I'm not saying looking forward to it, but it could have been worse.
Yeah, I forgot you was an I-rated whore.
Yeah, just smack that around.
Anyway, before we let you go, are there any shout-outs you want to give?
To the other guys, for Spencer for keeping it clean. It's a real clean race. I like the battle. I love the tactical part of it. Big thanks to Gary and Ryan and Pete for being in the booth. No, whatever, not in the booth, but in the Discord, obviously. And again, sorry for bopping Russell. and for you
Okay.
guys. But no, Peter's not here, right? No, okay, Sam, you, and not Jazz.
Okay, well, congratulations on your second place. Please do something. I've got green wheels on my screen. Do something with them wheels because it looks awful. Wobbly
That's why I did
kneecaps.
it. Fine.
Okay, sorry, I was having he'd already gone and I was still trying to flush him. Yaz, next up, let's bring in our second place TCR finisher, Ryan Walker.
Evening.
Ryan Walker, the other Walker, managed a good second place in the end there, but a massive battle with Stephen Walker, who's now found his match at around Sebring. A good race, a good battle. You must be knackered right now.
Yeah, you could say that. That was a absolutely intense, but that was a great race. I enjoyed that, and it was a good battle with Gary and Stephen.
Yeah. You in the end, you put that second place from Gary right at the end there. Did you see that happening, or were you just trying to hang on to the back of the two there and hope you could just pick up something? The two were battling very hard ahead of you. I'm sure you were watching that and hoping something was going to happen.
My plan after the pit stop was just to try and catch back up to them and maybe wait until the last lap, heading on to the back straight. But Gary made a mistake, so I just thought I was right behind him. He ran wide, so I thought I'll take the opportunity and try and take the position from him. And if I could stick with Stephen heading on to the back straight, I was planning to make a move into the final corner, but Gary decided to do a bit of a send, heading into the corner before the back straight. But that was all good. That was a fun battle.
We spoke to Stephen a little bit earlier, and we said, like, we at the halfway point of the season, and yourself and Gary have given him the best battle that he's had all season, the closest finish that he's had all season, which bodes well for the second half. You think you've picked up the pace here to be able to hold on to Stephen and reel him in and perhaps get grab a win off of him?
It would be nice to get a win before the end of the season, but I think it'll be difficult because Stephen is I wouldn't say he's an alien, but he's absolutely quick in this car. But we'll give it our best, but just to be on the same similar sort of pace as him tonight and keep with him for most of the race, I was quite surprised, but happy with. And I think, for me anyway, it felt like it was my best drive of the season.
Yeah, we all thought the same. We were just was a really good battle by it was a good race from yourself and Gary to keep up with Stephen all the way for that full hour, and we were completely entertained. So well done to both of you, and well done for your second place. And good luck through the second half of the season. Are there any shout outs you want to give before you go this evening, Ryan?
First of all, Stephen and Gary for that awesome battle for all of the race. Secondly, you guys for putting on the broadcast, and lastly, everyone in the league that makes it a fun community to be a part of and a fun league to race in.
Well done again on your second place, and I really hope you can keep that challenge up on Stephen for the second half of the season.
Thanks, Jazz.
Cheers, Ben.
Okay, so let's bring in our last interview of the evening. Third place in TCR, Gary Craig. Welcome to the booth.
Good evening.
What a battle. What else do I need to say?
Yeah, that was awesome. Really good fun.
Let's go honest. Was it the draft? Was it genuine pace? Or have you found something in the car this week?
Well, last week when you said, where are you going to take it to him? If I'd realised it was Sebring this week, I would have said Sebring, because it's probably the track I've done the most laps on in iRacing, and it's one of my favourite tracks. And so, yeah, I always go quite well around here. So that was on pace that we were fighting there, and it was great fun.
And looking at the race, from our perspective, it was, the first half of the race was nip and tuck. It looked that you could probably pass each other whenever you wanted. Then we got to the pit stops, and an uncharacteristic mistake from Stephen, a mistake also from Ryan. And all of a sudden you're in the lead with some clear air. Now, at that point, I thought, well, hello, this could be all over. We then concentrated a little bit on a GT4 battle, looked up, and he was right on you again. Did you make a mistake, or did he just manage to claw you down again?
Well, it's the draft in this car is 2 seconds, and he was at 2.3, and at that range you get a little bit of an inkling of draft, and then I was pushing a little hard, and maybe gave up a tenth in one corner, a tenth in another, and that was it. That was enough for him to be within that 2 seconds, and that was it. No getting away from there. So it was partly me just trying to push that a little bit harder to keep the gap, but even with like the 2.2, 2.3 he had, he still was getting a little bit of draft there, so he was just able to just use that to get back up on us. So I kind of expected that would be the case. I know that Ryan had overshot his marks because I was watching it, and I saw Stephen's stop was 3 seconds longer than mine. So you kind of think, oh, can I keep this? But then in reality, it's just so difficult, especially fresh out of the pits when you're trying to go flat out. When I've been fuel saving the entire race, suddenly I'm trying to go for different brake markers. It's always going to happen.
Yeah, and then the last few laps, we see yourself and Stephen swap positions on numerous occasions. Ryan just sort of, I don't know if he sat behind you on purpose, or the fact that yourself and Stephen spent a lot of the time side by side, so there wasn't actually anywhere else for him to put his car apart from behind the pair of you. But then right at the end there, you gave it everything, and that pesky Walker brother managed to slip past you.
Yeah, I mean, Ryan's been really quick this week, and he definitely likes to sit back and save his tyres and wait for his opportunity. And I knew, like, I actually started battling Stephen a little bit earlier because I know that I needed us to be lapped because I wouldn't have made another lap, and it turns out Stephen wouldn't have done either. so I started battling to try and slow us down. Got past, then he got past again, and I know Ryan likes to sit and wait. And then we got to that last lap when I knew we were both safe on fuel after Spencer had got through, and I had kind of maybe one opportunity to have a go at that in that lap, and I kind of tried knowing that I would open the door for Ryan, and we ended up side by side, and I just ended up getting a slowdown out of Le Mans. I ended up cutting that on the inside of Ryan just a bit too much, and I got a 1 second slowdown on that last lap. But yeah, I knew that I was giving up the chance of second to go for first and maybe get third, and I don't care.
I was just going to say that was a first or third move, wasn't it? There was no way you was finishing second.
Yeah, and to be honest, I don't think any of us cared which order that race finished in. We just enjoyed the battle there. I don't care that I was third there. It was just a fantastic race.
Yeah, brilliant. Well, before we let you go, Gary, any shout outs you want to give?
Yeah, definitely to Stephen for the win then, for Ryan for an awesome race as well. That was just really good fun. And of course to everyone else who we have in the Discord there in BSTV. We have JB joins us every week as well. And just for everyone else, for you guys for putting it on and everyone who watches.
Excellent. Well, congratulations on your podium finish, and we'll see you next time out at Boring Barcelona.
Cheers, thank you.
Okay, gents, so that is our interviews over. Next up, we switch our attentions to our driver of the meeting votes. I shall kick off this week because normally for his second place finish in TCR, I was going to give my vote to Ryan Walker again. No, I said was. After looking down the pecking order, my vote is going to go to a driver that probably was the raciest I've ever seen him, and that is Martin Brennan. I think if Martin had have popped in for an interview, he would have been absolutely over the moon, A, with his pace, and B, with the battles he managed to get into today, especially with Pete Bingham and Russell Cowell. So, yeah, my vote goes to Martin Brennan. Yaz, over to you.
Yeah, on that same note, I think I would like to sort of give kudos to Chris Needham for that first half of the race. He didn't, towards the end he sort of fell off, but that was good pace shown in the first half of the race. Very similar to Martin. You know what you're saying about Martin. But for my drive of the day, I'm going for your original thought, Ryan Walker. It was a toss up between Ryan and Gary for the pace that they shown to keep up with Stephen. But just for that opportunistic move right at the end there to Pip second, he's got my drive of the day.
Okay, and over to you, Sam. Don't even go there.
Oh, there you go. He's back. But you're the joke that I was picking Pete. Of course, I'm not. Well, he did a good race today, but not good enough. I was expecting a bit more from him.
Yeah, average.
Yep, average. I'm going for Chris Needham myself. For the exact same reason as Yas mentioned. I think he improved a lot. And he was able to keep up with the front five guys. So, yeah.
Okay, three very good and very interesting votes from us tonight. So, what have we got coming up for you? Sunday, as we keep banging on, BSTV goes NASCAR racing with the new truck series from the Charlotte Motor Speedway Oval. Going to be a lot of fun, and probably a lot of tears from me because I'm racing. Turning up anyway. And then next Wednesday, we're back with this series, the BSTV GT4 TCR Challenge from boring Barcelona. The track itself, I don't think there's a lot of people that actually enjoy it, but we have the drivers, we have the cars. I'm sure if any league can make that track interesting, it will be this league. Needless to say, make sure you drop this video a like, make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube and follow us on Facebook. That way you will never miss any of our action. Big thanks to all the drivers for putting on such a fantastic race tonight. Big thank you to anybody that watched us live, anybody that's watching us on catch up, and to everybody that talks to us in the chat. We do thoroughly enjoy that. Big thanks to Sam for his work on the cameras. Thanks to Yaz Not Yaz for joining me in the booth. I shall say good night, let the guys say good night, and then we will close the broadcast. So good night, everybody. Thanks for watching.
Good night, everyone. Hope you enjoyed that. See you next week.
Night, everybody. And tune in Sunday to see not Pete, but Clyde crashing. Hopefully.